So if you're wondering if staging is important, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I love staging. I think it's really important. A lot of times the homes are vacant or the seller has started to move out, so there's only some items left behind, and I just feel it's really important to showcase how the home can be used and what each little nook can be used for. For example, we've got this little chair back here. We didn't have anything there and just created a little reading nook just with a chair, a pillow, and a lamp. It's important to just show those little spaces that, you don't have to have an entire room. You can just show how one little corner can serve a new purpose that maybe you didn't think about. This home was staged by myself and the seller, but you can also hire a stager, and you might be surprised at the expense. It's really not too bad. And I especially feel that way for what a impact it makes on your home sale. But most stagers will come and give you an estimate, and they'll walk through what your expectations are and where you would like to see them do their work. They do not have to do the whole house, which I think is another common misconception. A lot of times they just end up doing a common area like the kitchen and dining room or the living room, because that would normally have a really big piece of furniture that maybe the seller already moved out. They can help do one of a couple bedrooms. It can be very a la carte as long as it's worth their time to come. And then they leave part of the fee is leaving those items there for 30 to 45 days, depending on what you agree upon. And then if you choose to have them take the items away after that or keep them, then there's a fee for that, of course, too. It is important, whether you stage or not. I always remind my clients that you want the appraiser to see the house the way that the buyers saw it, so they can just have that moment and see the same value that the buyer, how the buyer decided it deserved that value is how the appraiser should see it too. They are, of course, looking at all the comps in the area and all that stuff too, and making sure everything's in good repair, but I just feel like it's really important that they see that too. So that includes the home being furnished in the same way that it was when the buyer decided to make an offer on that home. So that's another nice reason to make sure that if you're doing staging that it's good. It's already going to be there for 30 days at least, so the appraiser should definitely see it, and then they have the opportunity to see it the same way that the buyer did. Another thing I like about staging is it's a really easy way to draw the eye back in pictures to really show how deep some countertops are, or again with that chair, like maybe you wouldn't have noticed that there was a little push back there that would have been perfect for holding a chair. You might not have seen that in other photography, but that drew your eye back there. So it's really simple, I feel like, to just really show all the nooks and crannies of a home that the next person can make theirs just like you made it yours. Last thing about staging, if you're hiring me to be your listing agent, I am happy to help you go through your items, and we can figure out what you should keep and what should go. Just try not to take it personally. It's just easier to put certain things together and make a look than it is other things. And as people living in a home, we tend to accumulate things over time, so we have different genres and different looks and different colors of wood and that kind of stuff. So sometimes there's things that are just really beautiful, but they don't necessarily go with everything else that you have or that I might be adding into the mix. So just don't take it personally. We just want to have a nice cohesive look for the buyer. We don't want the items to be what's drawing attention as much time as it takes to stage. It's really not about the things that are there. It's about creating a nice cohesive look and showing what size pieces can be in the space without taking away from the home, if that makes sense. So it's definitely a delicate balance of putting things there but not too much. You don't want the house to look lived in. You're just showing how, for example, the room I'm sitting in, a dining room table, but you can see that there's a living room behind me, like showing that there's space for something like that.